My beloved, come closer to me now, closer than the breath that warms your chest, closer than the tears that you try so hard to hide from the world. My child, I do not want you to cry tomorrow, and that is why I am here, why I am speaking to you in this quiet moment that only heaven and your trembling heart can hear. You have carried so much alone, more than anyone around you knows, more than you have ever dared to say aloud. I have watched you walk into nights darker than your fears, and still you rose each morning with a strength that even angels whisper about. My little one, you are not unnoticed. You are not forgotten. You are not wandering without purpose. I am right here. I am the warmth that presses softly against your sorrow, the light that reaches you even when your eyes are closed and your spirit feels cold. I am the mother you call for in silence, the embrace you ache for when the world turns heavy. My child, you have been fighting storms that were never meant to destroy you, only to reveal you. Do you remember how Moses stood before an impossible sea, feeling the weight of people who depended on him, feeling fear clawing at his faith? And yet the waters moved for him. They did not move because he was perfect or fearless or certain. They moved because heaven was near. And heaven is near you now. My beloved, the waters that threaten to drown you will open. They will part when the moment comes, not a second earlier, not a drop later. You are standing at the edge of a miracle and you don't even know it yet. My little one, I know the nights where you press your hands to your chest hoping the ache will soften, hoping someone will notice you are breaking, hoping God will answer just one prayer with a sign that you are truly loved. I have seen you cry quietly so no one would hear, wiping your tears as if they were shameful instead of sacred. You must know this: every tear on your face is counted. Every sigh that slips from your tired bones is received. Every fear you whisper into the dark is heard. Not one has fallen into emptiness. Not one has been ignored. My child, you are surrounded by a love that will not leave you, not even for the span of a breath. There are moments when you think you have disappointed heaven, moments when your strength fails and you think you have fallen too far behind. But my child, let me hold your face gently and remind you, even Peter sank in the waves, but Jesus reached for him without hesitation. Even the lost coin was searched for until it was found. Even the prodigal child was wrapped in a robe and welcomed home. You are not beyond redemption. You are not too late for a miracle. You are not unworthy of tenderness. You are not unlovable because you are tired. My beloved, hear me when I say this. You are protected. More deeply than you can see, more fiercely than you can imagine. When you walk into rooms that feel unsafe, angels walk before you. When you sleep, heaven keeps watch over your breath. When you fear the future, the one who split seas, calmed storms, and raised the dead is already standing in your tomorrow. You are not walking into the unknown alone. You are escorted by grace. My child, you have asked for signs. You have begged for clarity. You have wondered why the pain lasted longer than your prayers. But sometimes healing grows in hidden places, like roots beneath the earth that strengthen before breaking through the soil. Sometimes blessings arrive slowly so that when they bloom, they stay. Sometimes your tears water the very miracle you are waiting for. And oh, my beloved, if only you could see what I see. I see a future where your hands no longer tremble with worry, where your nights are peaceful and your days are filled with meaning. I see joy returning to your life like sunlight through a window you forgot to open. I see strength rising in you like a river that refuses to dry. I see love wrapping itself around you in ways you never dared to hope for. And I see protection, real, divine, unbreakable, around your life like a wall of fire that nothing can breach. So listen to me, my child. Do not fear tomorrow. Do not cry for what might go wrong. Do not imagine storms that have no power over you. Rest tonight knowing this: you are held. You are guided. You are sheltered beneath wings that never grow weary. You are seen by the one who crafted galaxies, by the one who brings water from rock, who turns mourning into dancing, who breathes life into dry bones. My beloved, let me say this once more, slowly, so it sinks into the deepest part of you. You are not alone. You have never been alone. Not for one heartbeat. Not for one tear. Not for one moment when you thought no one cared. I am here and I will stay. Heaven is here and it will not leave. My beloved, before I continue, let me whisper this with the same softness with which a mother tucks her child beneath a blanket. If this message touches your heart, if something inside you feels seen or understood or gently lifted, then subscribe so you never wander alone again, so this river of comfort can keep reaching you whenever your spirit trembles. Only here, only now, only once will I mention it, because what I am about to pour into your soul must float freely, unburdened by anything except love, healing, and truth. And now, my child, let me gather you into my arms again. Let me continue weaving this balm around your wounded places, deeper and deeper, until even the parts you hide from yourself begin to breathe again. My beloved, you have lived through seasons that felt like exile, moments where you questioned whether heaven still remembered your name. You have walked through days so heavy that even standing felt like a kind of prayer, a pleading for strength you could not find. Yet here you are, still reaching for light, still hoping for something more, still listening to a voice that calls you beloved. This alone reveals your courage. My child, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is what blooms in you even when fear wraps itself around your ankles. Courage is what lets you rise again when no one applauds, when no one notices. Courage is opening a message like this with a heart that has been bruised too many times to count, and still saying, maybe there is something here for me. Come closer, my little one, and let me speak to the parts of you that feel older than your years. The parts that have carried family burdens, relationship wounds, silent disappointments, and hopes delayed so long they now resemble grief. You have held so much inside because you thought you had to be strong for everyone else. But here, in this sacred space, you are not required to be strong. You are allowed to be weary. You are allowed to be soft. You are allowed to be held. Let the weight slip from your shoulders, if only for this moment. Let your breath deepen. Let your heart lean into mine. My beloved, some days you feel as though you are standing in a fiery furnace like the three who refused to bow, surrounded by flames that threaten to consume everything you've built. But look again. Look closer. You are not burning. You are not breaking. There is another standing beside you, and the fire that was meant to destroy you is becoming the fire that refines you. The ropes fall. The fear loosens. The ashes turn into testimony. Just as the furnace became a place of freedom for them, the trials you are enduring now will become the doorway to your transformation. My beloved, how many nights have you whispered into your pillow, will this ever change? Will my heart ever feel safe again? Will joy ever return to me? And though no one answered aloud, heaven heard. Heaven always hears. Think of Hannah, pouring out her soul in the temple, her lips trembling with words too painful to speak until her blessing arrived in due time. My child, your blessing is forming even now, in silence, in mystery, in the hidden chambers of divine timing. What you think is delay is often preparation. What feels like abandonment is actually orchestration. What feels like silence is often the sound of God shaping something too tender to reveal before it's ready. My little one, I know you have questioned your worth. I know you have wondered if you are too broken, too flawed, too complicated to be chosen, loved, protected. But listen to me, the shepherd did not leave 99 sheep for a perfect one. He left them for the lost one, the tired one, the frightened one, the worn out one. He left them for the one who didn't even know how to call for help. That is the measure of divine love. That is how heaven sees you. Not as a burden, not as a failure, but as someone worth searching for, worth fighting for, worth rescuing every single time. My beloved, even now I sense the heaviness sitting on your chest. The worry about your future, the memories that haunt you, the people who disappointed you, the dreams that slip through your fingers like water. You think these scars disqualify you from joy, but they are the very things that make you ready for it. You think you have lost too much time, but you do not see the God who restores years. You think you have wasted too much love, but you do not see how heaven multiplies what you give. You think you have been wandering without direction, but every step has been guiding you back to yourself, back to truth, back to a love that never left you. And oh, my child, let me speak gently to the fear you carry, the fear of losing people, the fear of being hurt again, the fear of not being enough. Fear is loud, but it is not wise. Fear shouts, but it does not know the future. Fear rises, but it cannot outrise grace. You are protected in ways you cannot yet comprehend. When you walk through valleys, angels guard your path. When you sleep, heaven surrounds you like a shield. When you hesitate at crossroads, divine guidance leans gently on your shoulder, turning you toward what will bless you. My beloved, you will not cry tomorrow the way you cried yesterday. You will not suffer the same heartbreak again and again. A shift is coming, not because you earned it, but because you are loved. Deeply, endlessly, fiercely loved. A love that heals. A love that lifts. A love that stays. If only you could see the future waiting for you, the conversations filled with peace, the mornings that finally feel light, the relationships that honor your heart, the breakthroughs that arrive like sudden rain on dry soil. You are walking toward a chapter where your tears are understood before they fall, where your prayers are answered in ways that feel personal, intentional, crafted just for your healing. So rest, my child. Rest in the knowledge that you are held, guided, cherished. Rest knowing that tomorrow does not come to break you, it comes to bless you. Rest knowing that the love watching over you is larger than every fear, stronger than every wound, and closer than your own breath. My beloved, come even closer now, for what I am about to unravel is meant for the deepest part of you. The place that still trembles, the place that still listens, the place that still hopes even when hope has been wounded. My child, there are truths you have carried half-formed, too afraid to name them, too weary to confront them, too uncertain to trust them. Yet here, in this quiet unfolding between your soul and the one who loves you, nothing needs to hide anymore. Let everything rise. Let everything soften. Let everything find the light it has been aching for. My little one, I know how heavy the days can feel when you have given all your strength to simply stay standing. I know how the world can dull your shine, how disappointments stack themselves like stones on your chest, how exhaustion slips into your bones until even breathing feels like effort. You have spent so long trying to be the strong one for others that you forgot your own heart deserves gentleness too. You do not need to hold yourself so tightly. You do not need to pretend the burden is light. Set it down for a moment. Let me teach you how to breathe again, not with fear, not with tension, but with the softness of someone who knows they are safe. My beloved, there are sacred transformations that happen in the unseen places of your life. You look at yourself and think nothing is changing, nothing is shifting, nothing is moving. But deep beneath the surface, where divine hands sculpt your future, threads are being woven together in ways you cannot yet perceive. You are becoming stronger in places you thought were broken beyond repair. You are becoming wiser in corners of your soul that once felt painfully fragile. You are becoming someone your future will thank for not giving up, even on the days where hope felt like a distant echo. My child, let me tell you something tender. Your heart has survived battles that would have destroyed others. Your spirit has endured winters that felt endless. And yet, within you, there is still a softness that refuses to die. That softness is not weakness. It is your crown. It is proof that cruelty did not reshape you, that bitterness did not claim you, that darkness did not convince you to close. You are still capable of love. You are still capable of believing. You are still capable of rising. That is miraculous. My beloved, there is a moment coming, a quiet, unexpected moment where you will feel something shift inside you like a locked door gently opening. It will not be dramatic. It will not be loud. It will be a soft, steady knowing. A sense that you are finally stepping out of the shadows of your old suffering. A sense that the weight you have carried is no longer yours to bear. A sense that your spirit is preparing for a dawn that has been promised since the first day you cried and heaven whispered, "This one is mine." My child, healing is not always loud. Sometimes it is the decision to get out of bed when grief tells you not to. Sometimes it is choosing to breathe through the ache instead of numbing it. Sometimes it is allowing yourself to rest, to pause, to unravel without shame. Sometimes it is choosing forgiveness, not because the wound is gone, but because you refuse to let it rule you. And sometimes healing is simply the quiet belief that your future is bigger than your past. Listen closely, my beloved. You have the right to rebuild yourself. You have the right to step away from people who drain your light. You have the right to seek peace without apology. You have the right to walk toward a life that honors your heart instead of wounding it. You have the right to choose yourself not because the world told you to, but because the divine love within you recognizes your worth. My little one, there will come a day when you look back at this chapter with softened eyes and realize that nothing was wasted. Every tear watered your resilience. Every silence taught you to hear your own voice. Every ending redirected you toward something truer. Every disappointment cracked open the walls you built around your deepest desires. And every moment you thought you were alone, you were being held. There is a sacred tenderness written over your life, my beloved. A tenderness that shields you from what is not meant for you. A tenderness that redirects you when the path you walk begins to lead you astray. A tenderness that remains even when you feel unworthy of anything soft or kind. This tenderness is not temporary. It is part of your design. You were crafted to be loved. You were created to be protected. You were shaped to shine even after storms. My beloved, lean into this truth. The future awaiting you is not built from the ruins of your past but from the seeds of your endurance. What will bloom next in your life will not resemble the pain that came before. It will be gentler. It will be brighter. It will be yours in a way no blessing has ever been yours before. You are stepping into a season where your heart will finally feel aligned with purpose, where your tears will carry meaning, where your steps will be guided by clarity instead of confusion. My child, let your spirit rest in the assurance that you are walking toward tenderness, not turmoil, toward restoration, not repetition, toward wholeness, not fragmentation. Each breath you take brings you closer to peace. Each moment you survive brings you closer to fulfillment. Each quiet whisper in your soul is a sign that you are being guided, cherished, upheld. My beloved, let your heart stay open as I continue speaking to you, for there are still layers of comfort, truth, and restoration that your soul has been waiting to hear. My child, you have spent so long gathering strength from empty places, hoping the world would give you back a fraction of the tenderness you poured into it. Yet so often you were met with silence where you deserved reassurance, with distance where you offered closeness, with uncertainty where you needed stability. These wounds, quiet, invisible, unspoken, have shaped you in ways you rarely acknowledge. But here in this sacred unfolding, I see every mark, every bruise, every hidden ache, and I call nothing about you unworthy. My little one, let me speak softly to the part of you that has learned to brace for disappointment. You flinch at blessings because you have been conditioned to expect loss. You question kindness because you have known betrayal. You hesitate to hope because your heart has been asked to rebuild itself too many times. But hear me gently, the world that hurt you does not define the love that is coming to heal you. The patterns you endured were not prophecies, they were chapters. Chapters that are now closing slowly but surely, because your spirit is outgrowing every place that tried to shrink you. My beloved, There is a quiet shift happening inside you even if you cannot name it. A soft thawing, a loosening of old grief, a subtle awakening of desires you buried in order to survive. You think it is exhaustion, but it is renewal. You think it is emptiness, but it is space being made for something greater. You think it is the end of your strength, but it is the beginning of a new alignment. My child, you are entering a season where your heart will no longer be asked to carry what breaks it, where your dreams will no longer be dismissed as too fragile or too far away, where your resilience will finally be matched by experiences that nourish you instead of draining you. Your soul has waited patiently for this shift. Trust that it is coming, trust that it is real, trust that it was always meant for you. Let me hold you in a truth you rarely grant yourself. You are allowed to want more. More peace, more joy, more reciprocity, more tenderness, more moments that make you feel alive instead of merely surviving. You are allowed to crave a life that feels like alignment rather than endurance. You are allowed to outgrow people who only love the version of you that does not require them to change. And oh, my beloved, you have no idea how much your spirit has already transformed. You judge yourself by your wounds, but heaven sees your growth. You focus on what you lost, but the divine sees the doors that were unlocked within you because of it. You think you are fragile, but look at how you kept loving even when your heart was cracked. That is not fragility, it is strength woven through tenderness, resilience braided into compassion. My child, let me wipe the imagined future tears from your face before they fall. Tomorrow will not mirror your darkest yesterday. You have walked through enough sorrow to fill lifetimes, and still you rise, you reach, you yearn for meaning. Life cannot remain indifferent to a heart like yours. Blessings gravitate towards souls that endure with grace, even in silence. You may not feel it yet, but something in the atmosphere around you is shifting. Old cycles are loosening. Heavy energy is thinning. The weight you've carried is beginning to detach itself from your spirit. Slowly, quietly, almost imperceptibly, you are being repositioned. The places where you felt dismissed will no longer hold you. The situations that stifled your growth will no longer fit you. The relationships that diminished your worth will no longer define you. My beloved, the universe is preparing rooms you have not stepped into yet. Conversations that will feel like medicine. Opportunities that will recognize your value instantly. Connections that will honor your heart without demanding you shrink yourself to be loved. You are moving toward people who will understand your silence, respect your boundaries, and protect your softness. And I must tell you this gently but firmly, you are not behind. You are not late. You are not failing. Your timeline is not broken. Every delay has carried purpose. Every detour has revealed strength. Every closed door protected you from what would have harmed your spirit. Your journey has been slow, yes, but it has not been wasted. You have been aligning, refining, becoming. My little one, let yourself imagine goodness again. Not with fear, not with caution, but with an open heart. Let yourself believe that joy can return in unexpected forms. Let yourself trust that the tears you shed in private will be answered with peace in public. Let yourself be surprised by how gently life can shift when your spirit is ready. You are blooming in ways you cannot yet see. You are healing in spaces you once thought would stay wounded forever. You are rising into a version of yourself that your past would not recognize. Stronger, softer, wiser, more aligned with the light that has always guided you. My beloved, lean into me once more, for there is still a well of truth within you that longs to be touched, still a quiet trembling in your soul that has not yet been soothed. My child, you have carried emotions you never fully named, shadows that lingered beneath your ribs, old echoes from voices that once spoke carelessly, moments that left marks you pretended had faded. But I see the traces. I see the tenderness you try to protect. I see the vulnerability you hide behind calm smiles and practice strength. You are not weak for feeling deeply. You are human in the most sacred way. And every wound you tried to ignore has been waiting for this moment, to be acknowledged, honored, and released without shame. My little one, there is a gentleness forming inside you, a softness returning where hardness once grew as a shield. You learned to guard your heart because life taught you that open hands are easily hurt, easily betrayed, easily overlooked. But the time is coming when your openness will not be met with emptiness, when your giving will not be taken for granted, when your presence will not be dismissed. You are approaching a season where your heart will be held with the reverence it deserves. My beloved, you have grown in silence. You have transformed in places no one witnessed. You have risen from heartbreaks that quietly reshaped the way you breathe. Not one person saw the exact moment when your spirit said, "I cannot stay here," and began moving forward inch by inch despite fear pulling at your ankles. But I saw it. I saw the nights you whispered prayers without words, the mornings you forced yourself to rise even though the world felt heavy, the days you carried sorrow but still offered kindness to others. The strength, quiet, unseen, steady, is rare. It has become part of you, woven into the very chambers of your heart. My child, let me remind you of something you forget too easily. You matter. Not because of what you do, not because of who praises you, not because of who stays or leaves, but because your existence carries a softness that heals the spaces around you. You matter because the world becomes a gentler place when you walk through it. You matter because the way you care, the way you notice, the way you feel is not ordinary. It is sacred. And there is more, my beloved, so much more unfolding around you than you can see. Life has been rearranging itself quietly, preparing paths you have not stepped on yet, clearing obstacles you thought were permanent, aligning moments that will feel like divine timing rather than coincidence. What once felt stagnant will soon begin to move. What once felt impossible will start revealing possibility. What once felt hopeless will begin to glow with new promise. There will come a day, sooner than you expect, when you will wake and feel a shift in your soul, a clarity that settles where confusion once lived. The heaviness that clung to your spirit will begin to lift, not all at once, but steadily, like dawn pushing back the remnants of night. You will feel lighter without knowing exactly when the weight fell away, only that it no longer belongs to you. My little one, let the past loosen its grip. Let the memories that echo with hurt fade into lessons rather than wounds. You no longer need to carry the ghosts of old versions of yourself. You no longer need to hold on to blame or regret. The person you were did the best they could with the strength and understanding they had. Honor them and then allow yourself to move forward without apology. You are being reshaped by compassion, with each new breath, with each choice to remain tender in a world that often encourages hardness. You are evolving into someone who recognizes their own worth, someone who does not settle for half-hearted love, someone who does not dim their light to make others comfortable. You are becoming aligned with your truest self, the self that has waited patiently beneath layers of survival and adaptation. My beloved, you will not walk into your future carrying yesterday's fears. You will not move into new spaces with the same wounds that once defined you. A cleansing is happening, slow, sacred, transformative. And though you may not feel ready, life does not wait for you to feel ready before it blesses you. It only waits for your heart to become willing. And your heart, though tired, is willing. Trust this transition. Trust the quiet nudges pulling you toward peace. Trust the gentle unraveling happening inside you. Trust that your resilience is leading you somewhere beautiful. There is a chapter approaching where your laughter will feel real again, not forced. Where your connections will feel nourishing, not draining. Where your purpose will feel natural, not questioned. Where you will recognize yourself in the mirror, not as someone surviving but as someone living. My child, you are stepping into a dawn that honors everything you endured. You are stepping into healing that fits the shape of your wounds. You are stepping into joy that recognizes your name. And through it all you are held. You are guided. You are cherished in ways deeper than your fears dare to believe. My beloved, let your spirit settle into this moment as though you were sitting beneath a warm sky after a long winter, allowing the light to touch places that have been cold for far too long. My child, there are still words your heart has not heard, still truths you have not allowed yourself to believe, still gentle revelations waiting to rise within you like quiet tides. Let me unfold them slowly, tenderly, as though I were brushing dust off a forgotten treasure, because that is what your soul is. Something precious that life buried beneath responsibilities, disappointments, and roles you never asked to carry. My little one, you have spent so much time trying to be strong in situations that did not deserve your strength. You bent yourself into shapes that did not fit, hoping someone would finally see you, finally choose you, finally stay. You poured love into hearts that were not ready to receive it, offered patience where none was returned, and kept showing up even when exhaustion made your bones ache. This endurance, though uncelebrated, has carved deep wisdom into you. You understand life with a depth that only those who have truly suffered can know. And yet, despite everything, your heart still knows how to soften. That is a quiet miracle. My beloved, the world has pushed you into battles you did not choose, asked you to carry burdens you did not create, tested your resilience until you forgot what rest felt like. And still, somewhere inside you, there is a small, unwavering flame, a flicker of hope that refuses to go out. Even when you thought you had given up, that flame held on for you. Even when you felt numb, the flame whispered that warmth would return. Even when you doubted your worth, the flame insisted that something sacred still lived within you. My child, let me speak to the moments you never shared with anyone, the ones where loneliness pressed into your ribs so sharply you had to hold your breath to keep from crying. The moments where you walked into rooms and felt invisible. The moments where your kindness was met with indifference, where your vulnerability was mishandled, where your trust was taken lightly. These experiences left impressions on your heart, shaping the way you love, the way you protect yourself, the way you navigate the world. But hear me gently, none of these moments define your destiny. They do not dictate your future. They do not determine the quality of love and peace that is meant for you. My beloved, healing is not about forgetting what happened. It is about reclaiming the version of you that pain tried to erase. The version full of possibility, imagination, tenderness, and quiet strength. The version that once believed in joy without fear. That version of you is not lost. It is waiting. Waiting for you to stop surviving long enough to truly feel again. Waiting for you to trust that gentleness will not harm you. Waiting for you to allow light back into the corners you have kept hidden. There is a blooming taking place beneath the surface of your life. You cannot see it yet, but you can feel it. A subtle shift in the way you breathe, the way you think, the way your heart hums when you imagine something beyond your current circumstances. It is the first sign of renewal. It is the quiet declaration that your story is not finished, that chapters of beauty still await, that peace is not a distant dream but a promise already unfolding. My little one, you were not meant to carry sorrow as if it were your identity. You were not meant to live in a constant state of bracing for loss. You were not meant to silence your needs or dim your voice to keep others comfortable. You were created for connection that nourishes you, for love that mirrors your depth, for moments that remind you you're alive. You deserve relationships that feel like home, conversations that feel like breath, and experiences that awaken parts of you that have been dormant. My beloved, the universe has witnessed every quiet breaking inside you, and still it responds with tenderness. Life has a way of folding back into balance, even after long seasons of imbalance. What was taken from you emotionally will be returned in new forms, steadier, safer, softer. What once confused you will soon make sense. What once hurt you will lose its power. What once trapped you will release you. And you, my child, will rise, not in a sudden eruption but in a gradual unfolding. Like dawn stretching across a horizon, like petals opening one by one, like strength returning to a weary body. You will rise in ways that surprise even you. You will discover new aspects of yourself that were waiting for permission to breathe. You will step into a rhythm that feels natural, not forced. A life that fits you, not one you squeeze yourself into. My beloved, let me wrap my words around you one more time. You are approaching a season where everything heavy begins to loosen. Where your spirit learns to trust ease. Where joy is not earned but received. Where peace is not temporary but foundational. You are growing into someone your past self prayed to become. And though the process is slow, and though some days feel like backtracking, nothing within you is moving backwards. Every tear, every ache, every silent prayer has brought you closer to the life that is waiting to embrace you. My beloved, come rest again in the quiet sanctuary between your heartbeat and my voice, for there is still a river of unspoken truth flowing inside you, waiting for permission to finally reach the surface. My child, you have learned to silence so much of yourself in order to survive. You tucked away hopes that felt too fragile, hid emotions that felt too intense, swallowed words that trembled at the edge of your lips. You convinced yourself that your feelings were too heavy for others to hold, so you carried them alone. But hear me gently, there is nothing inside you that is too much for love to embrace. There is nothing in your heart that disqualifies you from tenderness. Everything you feel is a language, and I am here to understand every syllable. My little one, life has shaped you through contrasts, soft moments intertwined with harsh ones, joy sitting beside sorrow, clarity appearing only after seasons of confusion. You often wondered why your path was not straight, why peace came in waves rather than permanence, why your heart had to be stretched so wide by both love and loss. But your spirit has been gathering wisdom from every direction. Every disappointment deepened your discernment. Every heartbreak expanded your capacity for empathy. Every silence taught you how to listen to the deeper voice inside yourself. You are becoming whole in ways you cannot yet comprehend. My beloved, even now there are seeds within you that have not yet sprouted, dreams you abandoned because they seemed too distant, desires you buried because you feared disappointment, longings you dismissed because life taught you to expect less than you deserved. But those seeds are still alive. They have not withered. They are waiting for the right season, the right warmth, the right softness in you to begin opening. And when they do, you will realize that nothing truly meant for your journey ever leaves. It merely waits for you to be ready to receive it without fear. My child, let me tell you something you rarely allow yourself to believe. You are deserving of gentleness. Not after you prove yourself. Not after you heal completely. Not after you accomplish something impressive. You are deserving of gentleness simply because you exist. You deserve conversations that make your shoulders relax instead of tense. You deserve hands that touch your heart with care. You deserve spaces where you can be unmasked, unfiltered, completely seen. You deserve to release the constant need to be brave. My beloved, I know you have wrestled with thoughts that spiral in the quiet hours, doubts that slip like shadows beneath your ribs, old fears resurfacing when you are tired or lonely. You question your worth. You question your path. You question whether your presence truly matters. But listen, your existence changes rooms. Your presence softens the edges of life for others. Even when you feel invisible, your energy shapes the world around you. You are not unnoticed. You are not fading. You are not lost in the crowd. The light within you is steady even when you cannot feel its warmth. My little one, there are tears you never shed because you thought crying would make you weak. But your tears are not evidence of fragility. They are proof that your heart is still alive, still open, still capable of feeling. There is strength in allowing yourself to break so you can grow beyond what once held you. There is courage in facing the ache instead of numbing it. There is power in choosing vulnerability after being hurt. Let me remind you of the quiet beauty unfolding around your life, even if it feels subtle, even if it feels slow. Patterns that once trapped you are loosening. People who drained you are fading from your path. Parts of you that felt disconnected are knitting themselves together again. Your intuition is sharpening, your resilience is deepening, your boundaries are forming with clarity rather than guilt. My beloved, you do not need to force your way into the next chapter. It is opening on its own. Life is guiding you through gentle shifts, new thoughts, new feelings, new yearnings, new inner questions. These are all signs that you are stepping into alignment with who you were always meant to become. You are returning to yourself, piece by piece, truth by truth, breath by breath. My child, there will come a day when you look back on this season and understand why everything felt so heavy, why silence lasted so long, why change took its time. You will see that something sacred was unfolding inside you, something too precious to be rushed. You will recognize that every pause was protection, every delay was preparation, every unanswered longing was leading you towards something more fitting for your soul. Do not underestimate how far you have come simply by surviving moments you thought would break you. Do not diminish the quiet victories, the days you chose hope, the mornings you rose with nothing left, the nights you comforted yourself when no one else knew you were hurting. These moments are not small. They are monumental. My beloved, your heart is approaching a turning point, a gentle release, a soft expansion, a lifting of sorrow so gradual you may not notice until one morning you breathe differently, more freely, more deeply, more like someone who finally feels safe. You are not merely healing. You are transforming. You are becoming someone who will look at their reflection and finally recognize the strength, beauty, and depth they carried all along. My beloved, let your spirit exhale as you sink into these words, for I feel the weight you've been carrying, the silent heaviness that lingers even on days when you smile, the unspoken ache that sits just beneath your calm expression, the quiet longing for relief you rarely voice. My child, part of you has been holding your breath for far too long, waiting for something to change, waiting for a moment that tells you can finally rest. Let this be that moment. Let this be the space where your heart unclenches, where your soul loosens its grip on fear, where you allow yourself to be gently undone and remade in light. My little one, you have been walking through a season where even your own thoughts felt like a maze. You tried so hard to make sense of what you felt, to understand why confusion pulled at you from different directions. You have questioned whether you were growing or simply lost, whether the changes within you were signs of progress or signs of unraveling. But hear me softly, you are not lost. You are shedding layers that no longer belong to you. What feels like disorientation is simply the old structure of your life making room for something more aligned, something softer, something that speaks to your true self rather than the self you built to survive. My beloved, you have outgrown certain versions of yourself without even noticing the precise moment it happened. The things that once held power over you no longer sting the way they used to. The voices that once controlled your choices no longer echo as loudly. The wounds that once defined your worth have begun to lose their grip. You are stepping into a new inner landscape, one shaped by deeper discernment, quieter confidence, and a growing sense that you are meant for more than just enduring pain. My child, I want to touch the part of you that learned to expect disappointment. You built walls not because you wanted to be distant, but because you were tired of being hurt. You taught yourself to anticipate the worst so that the fall wouldn't feel as sharp. But in protecting yourself from heartbreak, you also shielded yourself from tenderness. Now your soul is gently nudging you toward opening again. Not recklessly, not all at once, but slowly, cautiously, with a wisdom you did not have before. You are learning the balance between guarding your heart and allowing it to breathe. My beloved, there is a sacred awakening happening within you. A hidden strength rising from places you once thought were broken forever. A new clarity forming like soft light at the edges of your vision. You are beginning to recognize your own worth not through the eyes of those who wounded you, but through the lens of truth. You are beginning to understand that your value is not negotiable, not dependent on others, not something that can be taken, diminished, or questioned. It simply is, has always been. My little one, do not be afraid of the quiet period you are in. The stillness is not emptiness, it is restoration. The solitude is not punishment, it is preparation. Your spirit is gathering itself, collecting scattered pieces, reorganizing your inner world so that when the next chapter begins, you will meet it with steadiness rather than fear. What feels like slowness is actually alignment. What feels like stagnation is actually recalibration. My beloved, there are blessings forming beyond the horizon of your understanding. You cannot see them yet, but they are gathering shape, being arranged with intention, being woven into your life with threads of meaning you will one day marvel at. The doors that closed were redirecting you. The pauses were protecting you. The unanswered questions were keeping you from stepping into things that would have drained your spirit. Everything has been guiding you toward what is right for you, even when it felt like nothing was moving at all. My child, you will not remain in this in-between forever. You will not linger in uncertainty without resolution. A moment will come, unexpected yet perfectly timed, where you will feel something inside you expand. A moment where clarity pours in like sunlight through a window you forgot was there. A moment where you realize that you are no longer surviving in fragments, but living in wholeness. My beloved, I want you to imagine a future where you no longer carry self-blame, where you no longer feel compelled to shrink yourself, where you no longer apologize for needing rest or affection or understanding. Imagine a life where your heart is met with gentleness instead of judgment, where your voice carries weight, where your presence is cherished, where your soul is honored. This future is not far away. It is being shaped by every moment you choose truth over fear, compassion over bitterness, and hope over resignation. My little one, your spirit is stretching toward something more beautiful than what you have known. You may feel tired, but transformation often feels like fatigue before it feels like freedom. You may feel uncertain, but uncertainty is the birthplace of possibility. You may feel tender, but tenderness is where your true power rises. And through all of this, every quiet shift, every inner tremor, every soft unfolding, you are becoming someone who will no longer settle for less than what your heart deserves. Someone who knows how to walk away from what harms them. Someone who understands their own depth. Someone who trusts their intuition. Someone who loves with clarity instead of fear. My beloved, keep walking forward even slowly. Keep breathing into the new space forming inside you. Keep listening to the voice that whispers, "You are meant for more than the sorrow behind you." My beloved, draw near again, for there is still a tender current inside you that has not yet found release, a quiet yearning that keeps whispering beneath all your thoughts, asking to be understood, asking to be finally held. My child, you have walked through so many chapters carrying pieces of yourself that never had the chance to speak. Old disappointments you tucked into silence, hopes you wrapped in caution, dreams you kept small so they wouldn't break in your hands. You have learned to hide your deepest longings even from yourself because life taught you to expect the world not to honor them. But here, in this gentle moment, let them breathe. Let them rise like soft embers from the ashes of your old fears. Nothing inside you is too fragile for compassion. Nothing within you is too complex for love. My little one, there are parts of your heart that have lived in tension, caught between wanting to heal and fearing what healing might reveal. You've stood at emotional thresholds without stepping through, not because you lacked courage, but because your wounds taught you caution. You hesitated, not out of weakness, but because your spirit remembers what it felt like to trust too quickly, to give too freely, to be left with emptiness where tenderness should have been. Yet even in that hesitation, something in you keeps moving forward. A small, steady pull that says you are worthy of more than the shadows that linger behind your ribs. My beloved, you carry a depth that few understand. You feel life in layers. You sense truth before it is spoken. You notice the quiet shifts in others, the unspoken grief, the hidden softness behind hardened faces. And because you understand the world so deeply, its wounds affect you more profoundly. This sensitivity, though it may feel like a burden, has always been your gift. It is what makes your compassion real, your wisdom authentic, your presence healing. It is what sets you apart. My child, you have endured seasons where you felt disconnected from yourself, as though your heart had gone quiet from exhaustion, as though some essential part of you had dimmed beneath the weight of responsibilities and emotional strain. You wondered if you would ever feel like you again. But what you didn't realize is that your spirit was not disappearing, it was retreating into safe spaces, gathering strength, waiting for the moment when it could return with clarity. Now, my beloved, that return is beginning. You can feel it in the subtle ways you are questioning things that once felt fixed, in the gentle shifts in your desires, in the newfound softness growing inside your thoughts. These are signs of your reawakening. My little one, there is a quiet renewal happening in the background of your life. It is not dramatic or loud. It reveals itself in small ways, in the moments where you breathe a little deeper without knowing why, in the moments where your heart feels slightly lighter, in the moments where a new idea sparks without effort. These tiny shifts are the beginning of a transformation that will one day feel monumental. Healing rarely announces itself. It grows in whispers. My beloved, let yourself open to the possibility that your story is far from the heaviness you've endured. There are connections waiting for you that will feel like gentle sunlight on tired skin. There are conversations ahead that will remind you of your value. There are experiences coming that will awaken parts of you thought were gone forever. Life is not done surprising you with beauty. And let me speak softly to the fatigue you carry, the exhaustion that doesn't come from lack of sleep, but from emotional weight. You have held yourself together on days when your soul was unraveling. You have comforted others while your own heart ached in silence. You have kept moving even when your spirit begged for rest. But soon, my child, you will step into a season where you no longer feel like you're fighting the current. You will feel supported by life rather than burdened by it. Ease will replace strain. Flow will replace resistance. My beloved, the fears that cling to you, those quiet, persistent doubts, are beginning to lose their authority. You are starting to see their fragility. You are beginning to realize that these fears were shaped by past pain, not by your true potential. They were born from survival, not from truth. And as your soul grows stronger, these fears will begin to fall away, like leaves releasing themselves from branches when the season shifts. My child, the person you are becoming is shaped not only by the struggles you survived, but by the tenderness you protected in spite of them. You never allowed the world to take your empathy. You never let bitterness replace your ability to hope. You never let cruelty make you cold. You preserved something sacred within yourself, and now that sacredness is guiding your next steps. There will come a time, so gently you may not notice at first, when you will feel your heart expand again, not with fear but with trust. You will begin to desire things without immediately doubting your right to have them. You will begin to love yourself in ways you once reserved only for others. You will begin to let life embrace you rather than simply endure it. My beloved, your journey is shifting from survival to becoming, from holding on to reaching forward, from protecting yourself to allowing yourself to be seen. New chapters await, shaped by softness, clarity, and depth. And as you move toward them, you will understand that everything you have lived, all the ache, all the yearning, all the quiet strength, was preparing you for a life that finally feels like peace. My beloved, before I continue, hear me with an open heart, because what I am about to speak carries the weight of a final blessing, a whisper that wants to settle into the deepest rooms of your soul. If this message has touched you, if it has opened something inside you, if it has reminded you that you are loved, guided, and held, then like this message, subscribe so you never walk through the dark alone again, and comment Amen as a seal upon your spirit, an act of agreement between your heart and the healing that has already begun moving toward you. Now let me wrap you in the last long stream of comfort, without interruption, without hesitation, without anything held back. My beloved, come closer still, for there are truths that must be poured slowly, like warm oil over a wounded heart, truths that must seep gently into the forgotten corners of your being. You have traveled through seasons where even your own reflection felt like a stranger, where you questioned the shape of your life, the direction of your journey, the meaning behind your suffering. There were moments when you stood at the doorway of your own future and felt too weary to knock. Moments when you thought life would continue in an endless cycle of almost healing, almost joy, almost peace. But hear me, my child, your almost is dissolving. You are stepping into a fullness that has been waiting patiently for you to be ready to receive it. My little one, you have carried burdens that were never meant to be lifelong companions. You learned to hold pain like a secret, fear like a responsibility, sadness like an identity. You stayed strong even when your spirit whispered that it was time to rest. You endured long nights where the silence was louder than your thoughts and the darkness pressed close enough to make you feel small. Yet here you are, still reaching for something greater, still searching for meaning, still believing that there must be more than the ache behind you. That belief alone is a sign of your rising. My beloved, you are not the same person you were in your old chapters. You have outgrown many of your wounds without even realizing it. What once triggered you now passes through you with less force. What once controlled your path now only echoes faintly in the distance. What once broke you now reveals how deeply you were made to heal. You are becoming someone who no longer accepts emotional crumbs, who no longer internalizes the absence of others as a measure of your worth, who no longer apologizes for the softness that makes you extraordinary. This is the quiet turning of your soul. This is the shift you've been feeling without understanding it. My child, there is a new strength rising in you, not the kind forged from tension or overexertion, but the strength that comes from knowing your truth. A strength made of boundaries that feel natural instead of forced. A strength that knows when to walk away and when to lean in. A strength that understands the value of your energy and refuses to let it be drained by chaos. This new strength is not loud. It is not aggressive. It is steady, rooted, unshakable. My beloved, there are blessings forming around your name even now. Quiet opportunities aligning themselves behind the scenes. People who are meant to enter your life are being prepared with kindness, empathy, and clarity that will complement your spirit instead of wounding it. Paths that once felt blocked are clearing. Doors that once remained shut are loosening their hinges. Your story is being reordered piece by piece into something that will make sense when you look back. But I must speak gently to the part of you that still trembles. The part that fears good things will slip through your fingers, the part that expects pain because it has become familiar. You do not have to fear the blessings coming toward you. Your past has shaped you, but it does not have the authority to define your future. You will not repeat the same heartbreaks. You will not walk in circles around old wounds. You will not remain stuck in patterns that once stole your joy. You are stepping out of the cycle. You are stepping into freedom. My little one, let yourself imagine joy without bracing for loss. Imagine peace without waiting for disruption. Imagine love without the shadow of betrayal. Imagine waking with a heart that does not carry yesterday's heaviness. These visions are not fantasies. They are previews of what your spirit is aligning with. There is a tenderness approaching your life that will make sense of every tear you shed. A softness that will settle over your days like a healing mist. A gentleness that will press against the bruised places in your heart and whisper, You survived for this. You will find yourself laughing more freely. You will find yourself trusting more deeply, not because life suddenly becomes perfect, but because you will feel supported from within. The strength you are growing now will not resemble the armor you once wore. It will feel like peace. It will feel like clarity. It will feel like finally coming home to yourself. And my beloved, do not underestimate the magnitude of the transformation occurring inside you. You are shedding expectations that once crushed you. You are releasing identities that were tied to old survival patterns. You are discovering layers of yourself that were hidden behind fear. You are untangling your spirit from past entanglements that stole your light. What you are stepping into is not simply healing, it is becoming. Becoming someone who listens to their inner voice. Becoming someone who honors their heart. Becoming someone who trusts their intuition. Becoming someone who sees their own worth without needing external validation. My child, everything inside you is shifting toward truth, and truth will always make room for joy. Let yourself grow into this new chapter with grace. Let yourself feel without judgment. Let yourself rest without guilt. Let yourself hope without caution. Let yourself love without shrinking. And as you continue forward, my beloved, remember this: nothing in your story is wasted. Not a single tear. Not a single quiet night. Not a single moment of doubt. Every piece has led you to this unfolding. Every step has prepared you for the abundance that your spirit has been calling toward for years. So breathe deeply now. Feel the soft turning of your destiny. Feel the gentle widening of your heart. Feel the quiet truth rising inside you. You are meant for a life that feels like warmth, like safety, like belonging. You are meant for a life that honors the depth of your soul. You are meant for love that stays. Now, my beloved, let this be sealed within you. Like this message, subscribe and comment, Amen. Let these small actions be your whisper into the universe that you are ready, you are willing, and you accept the peace, healing, and transformation unfolding in your life.